A few days into what was called a ceasefire, Israeli attacks continued across Gaza, violating the truce and killing dozens of Palestinians. And while all the living Israeli hostages have been released, hundreds of Palestinian hostages remain behind bars, including doctors, nurses, paramedics, who were detained while risking their lives to save others. To shed light on their stories, we speak with Mohammed Ashraf, a Palestinian medical doctor from Gaza, who have been following the cases of detained Palestinian health workers, including Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, and advocating for their release and recognition. Dr. Mohammed, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you.
Mohammed, let me start by asking you, how do you feel about the so-called ceasefire? We saw that Israel continued its attacks on the Palestinian people. Just yesterday, more than 14 Palestinians were killed. This morning, more Palestinians were killed, and so on. So, as a Palestinian from Gaza, how do you view the ceasefire?
All right, Ahmed. When the whole media and the people talking about the ceasefire, as a Palestinian, I can say that death toll changed from hundreds per day to tens per day. This is what the ceasefire nowadays meaning. The death toll didn't stop. The killing of the Palestinian didn't stop. The detention and taking Palestinian as a hostages didn't stop. Yesterday, 20 Palestinian has been killed by an attack. And one of the media mentioned there is 10 Palestinian has been abducted from east of Gaza city as well. So the killing of the Palestinian, the abduction of the Palestinian is still ongoing, despite the agreement, despite the announcement of the ceasefire and the peace deal that they mentioned, and it has been circulating all over the media. And when they talking about the peace deal and the ceasefire and the Palestinian were able to go back to their homes, what homes they were able to go to? There is no homes. It's only rubble. And it has been highlighting in the main international media Palestinians going back again to their homes after months um, uh, of um, of the war. But there is no homes to go back again to them, to their homes. And again, people think if the ceasefire started, that the hospitals functioning 100% now, clinics functioning 100% now. But no, it's not the truth. The hospital is still functioning with the low and the minimum equipment that they are using. The food itself, it's not freely entering Gaza nowadays. There is no meat, there is no essential materials for babies, there is no milk formulas, nothing, Ahmed, from the main supplements that should be entering Gaza is entering so far after days of the announcement of the ceasefire.
Yeah, and still, Israel still occupies more than 50% of the Palestinian lands in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli troops are still stationed in the Gaza Strip, and they're still shooting the Palestinians. So, 90% of the Palestinian houses were destroyed. But even these destroyed houses, the Palestinians can't go there because it's still occupied by Israel. And we've heard many people when they go back to their homes, they're shot at and they're killed. And people talk about a ceasefire. They talk about hostage a deal, and many people think that the Palestinian hostages, and I mean to say Palestinian hostages, because many of them are civilians. The vast majority of them are civilians who were abducted from their homes, who were abducted from even hospitals. And yesterday we heard that dozen Palestinian healthcare workers were released, but there are tens of others who are still in Israeli abduction, in Israeli jail. So, what do you know about the medical doctors and healthcare workers who were kidnapped by Israel and still continue in Israeli jails right now?
Okay, so since the beginning of this genocide, the estimated number of the healthcare workers who has been abducted, it's around 400. In the last exchange, it's only 55 has been released. 55 healthcare workers. Among them, there are doctors, nurses, and paramedics. And we believe there is still more than 115 healthcare workers. They are still in abductivity. And the vast majority of these healthcare workers has been abducted from inside the hospitals, especially Nasser Hospital, Al Auda Hospital. And when we are talking about these numbers that I'm telling you, it's the numbers of the estimated or the expected still alive healthcare workers. We are not talking about the bodies of the healthcare workers who has been abducted from inside the hospital, tortured to death inside the prisons, and now they are refusing to return their bodies to their families, to say the last word, to say goodbye to them and bury them in their lands and bury them inside Gaza. One of these examples is Dr. Adnan al-Burj, who's a pioneer orthopedic surgeon, has been abducted from inside the hospital, tortured and raped to death, and now they are refusing to get his body back again. This is the number that I mentioned to you, the 115. It's for that we are expecting they are still alive. And when we talk to our colleagues who has been released recently, the doctors and the nurses, they told us that the doctors who are still in abductivity, they are suffering a lot. And when I asked them about my colleague, Mus'ab Sam'an, Mus'ab, he is a friend of mine. He is my colleague. We went to the medical school, the same medical school. And Mus'ab has been abducted from inside Nasser Hospital in February 2024. And the only thing that they have done, he's a doctor, was serving his people inside the hospitals. And Mus'ab is still in abductivity. I talked to his sister in the day of the exchange, and she mentioned his mom and his dad, they are very tearful. They are crying since the morning of the exchange, because we're expecting Mus'ab to come home, to come back home, because Mus'ab didn't do anything wrong. He's only a doctor abducted from inside the hospital. And when we talk to the other doctors who has been released, they mentioned that they are mean to humiliate the doctors and the healthcare workers inside the abductivity, and they are calling them not by their names. They are calling them by doctor, come here. And they are the one who are most beaten. They are the one who most tortured in front of every single like hostages there, Palestinian hostages, and just to humiliate them, just to make them not helping anyone inside the abductivity, or when they go back again, if they have been released to their homes, to make them feel like they are not helpful, they can't do anything to their people, they can't rebuild the healthcare system. So when we are talking about a ceasefire or a peace deal or whatever you want to call it, Ahmed, it's not only stopping the killing of hundreds of Palestinians. We want the pioneer, we want the senior healthcare workers to go back again to their families, to rebuild the healthcare system again. When we are talking about 115 healthcare workers, they are still in abductivity. These numbers, according to the Gazian population, it's a massive number of the healthcare system. It's the backbone of the healthcare system. If these 115 healthcare workers released today, I'm telling you, Ahmed, they will go back again to help in the hospitals of Gaza from the next day. And we have seen the example. Dr. Ahmed Mhanna, when he has been released from the abductivity, he didn't went to his home. He went to Al Auda Hospital to recontinue his mission and to restart again the work as a doctor and a senior doctor in Al Auda Hospital. This is what I'm expecting from the Palestinian. But the thing that I'm not expecting from the whole world, and I'm really surprised, Ahmed, if anyone from the healthcare workers or anyone working in the medical field now listening to me, they understand when you talk about a doctor or a nurse or a paramedic, they should be appreciated for what they have done during this genocide. They didn't leave the hospital, they didn't see their families, and they are serving their people. So they should be appreciated, not to be held in abductivity for more than 2 years now. It's not only held in abductivity, they are torturing them to death, sometimes like Dr. Adnan and like Dr. Rantisi. Another thing, Ahmed, me and Mus'ab, we take the same course about the international humanitarian law as a healthcare workers with ICRC when we were a medical student, because they are like, we are a medical student, we will be doctors, We will be working in Gaza, and we should know about the international humanitarian law and what's our rights and what we should do. And I can say now loudly, ICRC is complicit with Mus'ab abductivity, because they told Mus'ab that if you are serving in a hospital, you will be saved. No one can attack you, no one can abduct you, and you can walk and practice your medicine inside the hospital safely. And they give Mus'ab a false information. If they think this is the truth, then release Mus'ab, or at least tell Mus'ab family that he's safe, he's alive. When I talked to my colleague, they said Mus'ab is suffering from scabies, suffering from a lot from abscess all over his body, and they are not offering him medication. Why? Because he's a doctor. You're a doctor, then treat yourself. They want to humiliate him. They want to humiliate him,
So
Ahmed.
Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad, you're saying that the ICRC are complicit in the
100%.
of doctor of the doctor. Did you communicate with them to ask about the whereabouts of these abducted doctors? And if yes, what did they say to you?
Mus'ab family contacted them hundreds of times. Hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times.
Not tens, Ahmed. Hundreds of times. I know Mus'ab family very well. His mom and his dad, they are very keen to hear any single word about Mus'ab. They contacted the ICRC and all other international organizations. They just want to get a news about Mus'ab, if he's still alive, if he's doing well, where is he, what the charge, if there is any charge. But the news that they received from the released doctors, there is no charge for Mus'ab. He just held in abductivity because he's a doctor. And the ICRC didn't give them any single word about Mus'ab. But the ICRC, who the one gave Mus'ab 2 days course of international humanitarian law, and they told Mus'ab, stay in the hospital, do your job, practice your medicine inside the hospital, and you will be safe, which is not. Which is not.
Dr. Muhammad, you were in Gaza during the genocide, and you were treating the patients, and you were working with these amazing doctors in Gaza. What could they have done possibly to deserve being abducted and detained by Israel?
They have done a big sin, Ahmed. They are giving a hope to their people. They are working in Gaza hospital. They are giving hope to the Palestinian and to Gazan. Because if we, Ahmed, this is a systematic approach. If we killed the doctors, if we abducted the doctors, if we destroy the hospitals, Palestinian will lose hope. And if you lost hope as a Palestinian or Gazan, you got only two options: or you flee to the south or whatever area, or you leave the Gaza Strip, because there is no hope. There is no hospital. If you got injured, no one will treat you. And they meant to do this, to abduct these doctors. Mus'ab haven't done anything wrong apart from being inside a hospital helping his people, which is, again, he should be appreciated from like everyone around the world. Another example: Dr. Hussam Safiya, Dr. Murad Al Guga, Dr. Mohammed Abaid. I can keep mentioning names, Ahmed. And when I'm mentioning these names, they are pioneers in their specialties. Like, if you want to get a doctor like Adnan Al Borsh or Dr. Murad or any one of these doctors, we need at least, Ahmed, 15 years to get
Mm.
a doctor like Dr. Adnan, at least 15 years. But if we are talking about a ceasefire or a peace deal, just let the Palestinian people live. Just let them all home to their families, to their hospitals, to their healthcare system, and let them do whatever they want to do to the Palestinian to rebuild the healthcare system, rebuild their hospitals, and train the new doctors' generations as well.
And yes, as you said, we're not talking about any normal healthcare workers. We're talking about pioneers, people like Hussam Safiya and Adnan al-Bursh and other doctors. They can't be replaced easily. And now we know of reports that say over 1,000 Palestinian healthcare workers have been killed during the genocide and 200 who were detained. So tell me about the healthcare services in Gaza. Are they still functioning? What is happening to the hospitals?
It's barely functioning, Ahmed. It's barely functioning because they announced the ceasefire, they announced the stop of the genocide, but borders is still closed. No medical equipment come in. No medical delegates come in, international medical delegates. No doctors getting out to complete their training and go back again to their people to help them. So it's nothing changed on the ground. Al-Shifa hospital is still destroyed. Another hospital, all the other hospitals still barely functioning on the ground. If it's a really a ceasefire, or if it's really a peace deal and they want the Palestinian to live in peace, just let them build their healthcare system, build their hospitals, train the doctors, and yeah, release the pioneer doctors from abductivity to complete their job and to treat other Palestinian patients.
What is your demand from the international medical institutions towards what's happening in Gaza?
There's a lot of things to be done from their side, Ahmed. There's a lot of things on their shoulders. The first thing, speak up. Speak up to release all the healthcare workers who are still in abductivity. This is the first thing. Second thing, send as much as you can equipments and doctors and medical delegates to Gaza, because Gaza need it, really need it. The third thing, if you are not able to go to Gaza as a healthcare professionals, at least help with the training for these healthcare professionals from inside Gaza. Ahmed, during 2 years of genocide, at least 200 of medical students has been graduated and have been working while they are medical student, and now they are fully doctors, and they need their training to be completed. Then they will be very helpful to the healthcare system in Gaza. Get them opportunities outside Gaza to complete their training in very rare specialties and needed specialties, and I can guarantee these doctors will go back again to Gaza to serve their people. And you have seen the examples, Ahmed. You have seen Maisara, you have been graduated from one of the best universities in the world, and what he's done, he went back again to Gaza and he started to help his people, started to do guidelines. And these guidelines that Mysara have done, it has been used now internationally in any conflict area. This is our people, this is our doctors, this is the Ghazian people, Ahmed.
Dr. Mohammed Ashraf, thank you very much for speaking to me today.
Thank you, Ahmed.